So I don't know if you're going to be able to see the footwork here, but I just wanted to go through this. I know many of you have seen this before. This is our blade draw. It's super simple. I'm going to go ahead and put my belt could probably be tighter, yeah. But if you didn't have one, you could put in your looper. So what could the blade up, what are we talking about when we mean blade up, right? I'm Jonathan Allen with Ghost Blade School of Shadow Warriors, and I just want to show you this. It's just a simple thing, okay? I'm going to show you this simple thing, a blade up. So I've taken my blade, okay, and it's up. So my blade is up, and when I draw, what I want to do is if you see here, I want to, this is super important, and many of us may miss this since that's why we have injuries on our finger, our thumb, or whatever, or missing one. And so what we want to do is just kind of let this be a little loose so that when it comes to the time when I need to bring it out, I can do that effectively. Yeah. And so our blade up draw is, our blade is up. Yeah, our blade is up. It's the same thing if we were grabbed with some kind of grab and we say, okay, and then we want to look at our palm, and then we do something cool and they go flying. So that's what happens here though. We do something cool and it goes flying, right? Like a fishing pole. So here I just loose it up, yeah. And I want to pull back on the scabbard and it'll just rest right here, right? Oh, my thumb's still there, and then I'm going to cut it. No, that's when you want to bring that thumb back in, yeah. Or be clear. So how do you know if you're clear, yeah? So these are things you should practice. So don't probably practice with a sharp sword, especially a 3-body sword. And so again, all I'm going to do is just pull back on the scabbard. I'm not talking about my footwork or anything yet. That's a whole different thing. We just want to get this part down first. And so with this blade up, I can do a cross, yeah, and then I could do whatever I was going to, do or whatever. And so I'm going to blade up and I can come across, right? I can do blade up and I can come down, right? I'm going to do blade up, right? I can come down, and then with the strike. Of course, all this is going to take footwork for it to be, for it to get to what I'm trying to do, which is cut something down, right? So how would that work? I want to cut down, and then other times we'll talk about different things, and the enemy sees this opening, and then it's all about. So there's a certain way to do it, and if you understand that the blade should never. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. The blade should never be towards me, especially if I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to block with this part. Your sword is never meant for a blocking thing. You get out of the way of danger, and then you do what you're supposed to do. Your body is the one that will move you off of that line of attack, and then you can get busy at doing it, whatever you need to do. I know this isn't the best video, but at least it's something where you can see that when I'm pulling back on the scabbard, see it from the back here, as I'm pulling back on the scabbard, and someone in Aido or something, they're gonna be, oh, that's not right. This is the art of ninja. We do things that's a little bit different, but you see the fruits of of what it does, and So the blade up is. Let me just do this one more time, real super simple. Let's just take the scabbard out. And I want to pull back on that scabbard, clear it. It's clear, yeah. See, it's gone, and now the blade is revealed, yeah. And so, for us as ninja, we need to understand that this is not my blade, yeah. And so we say blade to blade, heart to heart. This is my blade. This is my heart. Blade to blade, heart to heart. This is my blade. This is my heart. So when we come to weapons, whether it's a projectile, firearms or whatever it is, we have to understand that we have to use our heart, right? Sometimes you have to use your heart. And the heart is very deadly. It's very deadly. Yeah. Whatever kind of weapon it is, the heart is deadly. We must operate in our heart, and we must operate as one who respects everyone around us. We respect people. But when there comes a time that we will have to use our heart, we have to let that thing beat, right? So this is my blade, my heart, my true heart. This is what I will shoot with. This is what I will cut with. This is what I will do, whatever needs to be done. This is what I will do combat with, my heart. Yeah. This is what I go into combat with. And this is what I come back with. And this is what is painful when I come back with it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. No kidding. Yeah. So it isn't about the weapons. It's about the weapon. This is useless without me. This thing could sit around here and rust and nobody ever even know about it. But this thing's going to keep on beating. But one day, this blade will get dull. And iron sharpens iron. I believe that many of you out there are into martial arts and you got into it for whatever kind of reason you got into it for. But what if martial arts wasn't about kicky punchy and let's hurt each other and all this stuff, and it wasn't about increasing your self-esteem or anything like that? You should already be a man or a woman, or you should already be a boy. You shouldn't need anything else to be what you are. So none of this stuff helps you to be any different than you are. If you go to the military and you think that you're going to become an Army Ranger, right? You're still a man. You're still a woman. If you go and be a Marine, you become a Marine and you come out and you're like, well, how come I ain't all muscled up like the pictures? I'm just thin. I just lost a bunch of weight and I'm a little bit more disciplined. I do have self-confidence. I am a better version of myself. And that's exactly what martial arts should do for you. It should make you the best version of yourself. It should help you to bring you closer to that enlightenment that you seek. Shikin, haramitsu taikumyo. Yeah? Onigashimasu. Please assist me in helping you to achieve your very best. You're like, well, Shihan, hold on a second. I'm at my very best. I'm better than you, in fact. Well, that's great. That's great. Because this that we're doing, it isn't a competition. I don't need to roll around you all day to figure out whether or not I have the confidence to make it to my next day. My confidence is in the Lord. Yeah. Ninja believe that they can see through the eyes of God. You know, when you come to different things, that you can see through the eyes of God to see. God gave you eyes to see. You already have everything that you need. You're not going to attain something that anybody else couldn't do. I could do wonderful, look like a superhero, awesome stuff, and you know, with all kinds of super strength, cool stuff. But I'm doing the same thing that anybody else could do. I just may be a little bit talented for it. I'm not trying to gear myself up. I know I can do what I'm doing. I don't need somebody to say whether or not. I've said before, and I've even tested this, and it's been really dark. I said, if you really want to find out if we're real or not, why don't you come grab a hold of us and find out? Yeah. And that's put me at some real dark places. And it's hurt a lot of people, and that's not right. And so I'm sorry that I got so prideful at times that I would have to, you know, go someplace and test my martial art. And here we are at dojos, and when we go to dojos, we are already doing this. What did I need to go test it out for? It was already real enough. But real ain't real enough, and good ain't good enough, and that's the lie of the enemy, right? If you know something's working, just continue to do that, and then get better at it. And if you see other stuff, go look at that and get good at it and better at it and get proficient at it. That way it works. But if you're doing something that doesn't work, doesn't make sense, if you're rolling around on the floor all the time and that's all you're doing, and you do a little bit of stand up or whatever, just do something that's going to make some sense. If you're doing martial arts as a way of living, then you're probably at the right place. If you're doing martial arts because you have a problem with your pride, and you know you're kind of you want attention all the time, and you want to be the winner, and it's a competition for you. Yeah, it is. I want to tell you something. When we went to Japan, we were little kids, and we showed up there. Yeah, my brother went first, or it was at a competition. I'm pretty sure it was in Japan. I could be wrong. And so we go there, and my brother goes before me, and he like breaks his toe, and he busts the kid's nose at the same time. The kid is bleeding. They got white gis on. Maybe they have black, but I don't remember that part. But we're just little kids. I may have been 4 or 5 years old, yeah. And we go there, and as soon as I seen my brother crying because of his broke toe, but he wasn't crying because of his broke toe. He's crying because he kicked the guy in the face, and he broke his nose, and the blood, and the other kid's crying like, oh my God. It's really graphic. So I start crying. Yeah. I start crying. I'm like, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't doing that. Yeah, I ain't doing that. I don't want to hurt anybody. And today, I'm so thankful that I can come back to the place where I don't want to hurt anybody. I've been to those dark places where I want to hurt you. I want you to know that what I can do is painful. I will show you that we can do things that will elicit a pain response so that I can get you to a certain place where maybe we could talk this thing out. But if I'm not given that choice and we're in a combat scenario, game over. Whatever we got to do, we got to do. That's it.